And the topic of today is about returning to unconditional love. And returning to unconditional love, there is an opposite to it. And the opposition to this is the division, the separation, the hurt, the pain, the judgments, the blame. The craziness that's going on right now on this planet. It's kind of becoming really wild. Let's just see it as it is. A lot of dysfunctions are revealing themselves, and way too many, of course. It might feel very overwhelming. Way too many dysfunctions are functioning through humanity, even in a not nice way. You know, some people can feel very overwhelmed, too much to handle, can't keep up, can't catch up with all this accelerated life happenings right now. And with that, there are a lot of crazy things happening. And today I felt the call to bring this topic up, to explore the functions of this harmony and why we even act out, sometimes from places of hurting others or judging others, creating that sense of separation and division. So let's start from the shadow first. Let's start from what we find the most challenging to meet. And I really would like to speak from a humanely level. I'm not going to be fluffy and speaking about, you know, when you're in your highest states of consciousness and how you feel out of your body and how light and whatsoever you experience. But today I want to speak from the realness of the human function, including the shadows and dysfunctions that are really coming up more than ever. Now, of course, many times it is not our intention to hurt another. Many times it's not. Many times we do want to do good. Many times we do want to do good, but somehow pain and separation and division still is taking form, still is taking place. It is very well, understood because all our unconsciousness, it's surfacing, and also it's very hard for us to see the truth of all of these shadows we hold, and all the dislikes, because all of these shadows, we don't like them, we don't want them to be here. But in this time, this is what's happening in this lifetime, right in this body. Through this body vehicle, we are experiencing this shift of consciousness exactly how you're experiencing it. And yes, it's not the most comfortable. The dismantling of the functions, so the dismantling of the dysfunctions, is not a comfortable process. It is not. No matter your state of consciousness, When you're in a process of dismantling a dysfunction, it is not a comfortable process. So let's put things very real today, very real. So, something that we can at least shine some light upon what is behind the dysfunctions, what is even deeper than the dysfunctions that create harm and disharmony to one another, even to close brothers and sisters. You know, it can really bring a lot of damage and division and separation. But yet, what is beneath this dysfunction? What is beneath these actions that sometimes or many times take form? And what I see here, it's a lack. There is a lack of consciousness that is clear, of course. There is a lack of light, but there is also a lack of love. A lack of love. And if we are able to see this, even in the midst of any craziness or very wild situations or any harm happening to your friends or your your soul friends, like anything that you witness right now, you also have a responsibility to reharmonize yourself too. You don't want to add another blame to the chess game. You don't want to add on to the harm. You don't want to add another plus of judgments. So, what do we do here? We have to first realize that any dysfunctions of disharmonies happening maybe around you, or maybe on a global level, what you're attuning with right now, it's just very great to bring a deeper insight, some compassion as well, to see that those dysfunctions are only happening because beneath it there is a lack of love. And how does a lack of love even take form? This comes because of a certain disconnection with our source. That's the core, a disconnection from our deepest selves that creates a lack already. But what creates a lack too is when we experience in our life, let's speak of this lifetime, as an experience that has created pain, that we have experienced some form of pain, some form of division, separation in our lives. So that can also be behind the scenes of those disharmonious functions that function through humanity, even not right now, even in various states of consciousness. It does not matter. The dysfunctions are here, and we are here to heal. And healing means encompassing in love, and that also means being compassionate and kind. And even that also means a deeper understanding and an insight also to yourself. Because you might see it happening out there, but sometimes it touches you too. Sometimes you act in a disharmonious way. Sometimes you say something that creates separation or division. So we're speaking here, I'm speaking to you, and at the same time it's reflecting to me. We're literally like one team here on this planet right now. In our timings, we do have these moments. And especially now, there's so many things happening. There's so many things happening. So it's just really important for us to have a deeper insight and to remember, at least to remember, that any disharmonious actions, any bad actions, you know, behind that can also be a disconnection or a lack of love. And of course, sometimes this also goes right into the soul. Sometimes the soul gets actually damaged. So here we're not just speaking, touching one another on a personal level or on an emotional level only or a psychological. This can also damage your energy body and even deeper your soul. So life also right now, there's no mistakes. There is still a divine unfoldment of life happening, but sometimes certain actions are unnecessary. Sometimes certain actions are unnecessary for the soul to experience a certain um, damage to the soul. And this really depends, how things are acting out with one another. And I'm just simply here right now today. I had this very deep calling to even allow these words to come out just because of what energies are present, in the collective field, and 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 how many people are actually going through a rough time right now. So many people, they're going crazy actually. And some people don't even have the right guidance. They're just hanging out in groups, try to figure each other out, and there is a lot of disturbance out there. It's like where to even begin, especially when people are not actually open for some guidance. So I know as I step outside and wander a bit around, I see this too. And it's not just around me here, of course, it's on a whole humanitarian level. And people can get really crazy at these times, really crazy. Because sometimes when it's too much to handle, people can do really stupid and really silly things. So it's very important for us to if there is some overwhelm, if it's too much processing, if it's too much painful, if it's too much of anything too much for you, that is signifying to you that maybe you need to slow down. Maybe you need to rest a bit from your inner work. Maybe you need to take it a bit more lightly. Maybe you need to ground and give some self-love, some self-loving practices, which can also be allowance and acceptance and embracing all that you feel and experience. Sometimes even going for a massage or meeting your friends for a drink or going for a dance. So bring some balance, bring some lightness, and slow down and come back in your body. It's so important to come back to the body. Because when we are in the body, we are more grounded. We are more here. And as a second step, is to always notice even any slightest judgment, any sense of separation, division, thoughts, actions, words, any way that can bring damage even in your, even in your close friends, in your soul family, in any where you're touching right now. Let's bring more compassion. Compassion starts from within us, and even within ourselves. We do need to learn a lot from the feminine force. We do have a lot to learn from the feminine force, because the feminine force is what is allowing us, reminding us, giving permission to ourselves not to be so hard, not to continue pushing. These are all the feminine, it's a feminine force that actually, has been ripped out of us. And, the way forward to bring harmony is to return to love. What other way? What other way can you return to unity, to harmony, to balance? There's no other way. It does not mean if you are in full consciousness that that's going to work out. It doesn't mean like that. Without love, you have nothing at all. Without your deepest heart and soul, there's still something not quite complete. And this process, this transition we're in, is demanding for us to return back to love. It is a big demand that it's asking for us to return to harmony, to return to kindness and compassion, to return to the heart, no matter what. And as you know, healing happens with heart, with love. This is how healing takes form. This is how we dismantle separation. All of the dysfunctions, they're all rooted from separation. Separation is a lack of the force of love. So there you go. It must return back to love in your deepest degree of love possible to you. But also that doesn't make a difference, because once you go beyond the emotional love, which is the most conditioned love, once you go beyond the emotional love, you already know a deeper love. So no excuses if you don't feel you're not enough or not in a higher consciousness. These are all excuses. These are all excuses. Because love is a universal language. Everyone knows love. So no excuse. Everyone knows love. And only through integrating and embodying love truly, we can make it through on this planet Earth. We can make it through as a whole humanity, as a whole civilization. And yes, if you look around you, there is a big percentage of humanity who have not yet met their heart beyond the emotions. It is fine too. But you are here to be that embodiment. You are here already as guides. We are all awakened souls. All awakened souls are here already for being here for the others, being here as guides, because you are already awakened to that. So you naturally become a guide to others. And this is how altogether we can unite in love. And the more we unite in love, the stronger this bond will be, the stronger this connection, this unity field will become. And it will not only support you as an individual, because you will be tapping into that bigger collective field, but you will also be supporting the human race just by being yourself integrated and embodied as that of what you truly believe in your core. And what returning to unconditional love means is simply a pure love which has no dysfunctions. That's what unconditional love is, a love without conditions. And conditions are dysfunctions. So a love which is free, a love which is open, a love which is like an ocean, it's open, it's free, it's pure. There's no conditionings, there's no limitations, there's no dysfunctions. So when you see a dysfunction, you can immediately realize that, behind that dysfunction is a lack. It's like a black hole, it's like a lack of love until it's embraced, until it's allowed and accepted. And then it integrates. And that integration is the most uncomfortable, yes. But as it integrates, the integration brings the embodiment. When you walk your talk, you walk your talk, you start embodying that frequency inside your body. It becomes ever stronger, that force, that power of that unconditional love. It's like it amplifies. It's like your body is like this antenna, receiving from above and anchoring into the earth, integrating and then amplifying these codes. These codes, this information of unconditional love emits through this body. So any dysfunctions can be seen that behind them, it's like a black hole, it's like some dark space, a disconnection. And even if someone else, if someone else has done something that has created some form of distortion, yourself, if that touches you, you can still work with embracing it. You can still integrate that. You can still allow that to return back to love. Because that's what we're actually here for. In this lifetime, we're here to return back to love. From separation and division into the unconditional love, which is all within us. We just have to remember more of it. Just have to remember more of it. And the integration and embodiment, by the way, it happens through the physical manifestation actions. So careful what you talk from your higher consciousness, and see that according to your actions, you might see a very big gap. And of course, there is a gap because when we open ourselves, that's our highest. But now life is inviting us to integrate in the body. And so the body manifestation is always a bit behind, is always a bit lagging. We know this here, but when we look at our actions and how we speak of another or of ourselves, and how we think of another or ourselves, and how we act, we see there is a gap, and to bridge that gap, we have to remind ourselves of love. And because that can be the bridge for us. And choosing action from love will actually help you integrate your higher consciousness. So love is in the middle. It is in the middle because it glues everything together. And it's also a very good practice to practice compassion, to practice kindness, to practice any form of even expression of love through you. It's kind of very required right now, and I felt this topic was very important right now to remind ourselves and illuminate for you and for the people around you, all the people you're in touch with, because each of us counts. And the change happens from within us.